Well, if you trying to be a boss, you can't let nobody else say they the boss.
Real talk.
So I had to get him. I got at him. He said, I'm the best. I'm like, fuck that.
Don't take it. I'm not going to get hurt. Right. You diss me on a record.
Hey, man, when he said to the break of dawn, I remember.
Oh, poor baby. You mad? He dissed you on the record. Hey,
man, my
you want to shoot his car because he dissed you on the record.
When you said,
why Ice-T never respected LL Cool J. Welcome, hip-hop enthusiasts and culture aficionados. Today, we're about to embark on an electrifying journey into one of rap's most captivating rivalries, a clash that has sparked fierce debates and intrigue for decades. Have you ever wondered why two of hip-hop's most iconic figures, Ice-T and LL Cool J, have never managed to find common ground? If so, you're in for a treat. In this exploration, we'll peel back the layers of their complex relationship, revealing the simmering tension, divergent styles, and profound cultural implications that have fueled Ice-T's enduring disdain for LL Cool J. Get ready to delve into the heart of this rivalry and uncover the forces that have shaped their legacies in the ever-evolving world of hip-hop. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, hip-hop was more than just music. It was a cultural revolution. What started as a grassroots movement in the Bronx had exploded into a global phenomenon, with artists from coast to coast shaping the sound and style of a generation. The era was characterized by intense rivalries as rappers sought to carve out their own niche in an increasingly crowded field. Amidst this competitive landscape, Ice-T and LL Cool J emerged as two of the most influential voices, each commanding a significant following. However, their approaches to the art form were strikingly different, setting the stage for a clash that would captivate fans and critics alike. Ice-T, hailing from the West Coast, was one of the early architects of Gangsta rap, a subgenre that vividly depicted the harsh realities of street life. His music was raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically confrontational, reflecting the struggles of those living in the inner city. Ice-T's lyrics were often laden with social commentary, addressing issues like police brutality, poverty, and systemic oppression. His authenticity and willingness to speak truth to power resonated deeply with listeners who felt marginalized and ignored by mainstream society. For Ice-T, hip-hop was more than entertainment. It was a platform for resistance and a means to voice the frustrations of a disenfranchised community. In contrast, LL Cool J brought a different energy to the scene. As one of the first rappers to achieve mainstream success, LL Cool J's music was known for its crossover appeal. He was a versatile artist who could deliver hard-hitting battle raps while also crafting smooth, radio-friendly love songs. LL's charisma, good looks, and commercial savvy helped him break into the mainstream, earning him fans far beyond the traditional hip-hop audience. His success, however, was met with skepticism by some within the hip-hop community, who questioned whether his music still embodied the raw, unpolished spirit that had defined the genre's early years. To Ice-T and others who valued the gritty, street-level authenticity of hip-hop, LL Cool J's polished image and commercial success represented a shift away from the genre's roots, leading to a tension that was as much about the future of hip-hop as it was about personal rivalry. Ice-T's gangsta rap roots. Ice-T, born Tracy Marrow, was deeply shaped by his upbringing in South Central Los Angeles, a neighborhood notorious for its gang violence, drug trade, and pervasive crime. Growing up in this environment, Ice-T was acutely aware of the dangers and struggles that defined daily life in his community. These experiences profoundly influenced his music, driving him to become one of the key figures in the gangsta rap movement, a genre that emerged as a stark, unvarnished portrayal of life in the streets. Through his lyrics, Ice-T chronicled the grim realities that many in his community faced, turning his music into a powerful narrative tool that resonated with those who lived in similar circumstances. His tracks like 6 in the Morning and Colors were more than just songs. They were gritty, vivid depictions of survival in a world where violence was a constant companion and hope was often in short supply. Ice-T's commitment to authenticity in his music became one of his defining characteristics. In numerous interviews, he has articulated his philosophy that music should reflect the truth of one's environment, even if that truth truth is harsh and unsettling. For Ice-T, his lyrics were a form of reportage, a way to document the lived experiences of those in the inner city who were often overlooked or misunderstood by the broader society. He was adamant that his music was not about glorifying violence, but rather about shining a light on the systemic issues that perpetuated it. This sense of responsibility to his community and his refusal to dilute his message for commercial gain earned him respect within the underground hip-hop scene and beyond. However, this dedication to keeping it real also fueled Ice-T's disdain for artists he believed had compromised their integrity for mainstream success. LL Cool J, with his polished image and crossover appeal, became a symbol of this commercialized shift in hip-hop. Ice-T saw LL's music as a departure from the raw, unfiltered narratives that had initially defined the genre. To Ice-T, LL Cool J represented a version of hip-hop that was more about entertainment and less about the unvarnished truths that he himself was committed to telling. This divergence in their artistic philosophies was at the heart of Ice-T's lack of respect for LL Cool J, as Ice-T believed that the true essence of hip-hop lay in its ability to speak truth to power rather than conforming to the expectations of the mainstream music industry. LL Cool J's rise to stardom. LL Cool J, born James Todd Smith, quickly established himself as a groundbreaking figure in the world of hip-hop, rising to prominence at a time when the genre was still carving out its place in mainstream culture. His debut album, Radio, released in 1985, was a game changer. Produced by Rick Rubin, the album was a masterclass in blending the raw energy of hip-hop with the sonic polish that appealed to a broader audience. Tracks like I Can't Live Without My Radio and Rock the Bells became instant classics, showcasing LL Cool J's knack for delivering powerful lyrics over hard-hitting beats. His commanding presence on the mic, combined with his ability to craft memorable hooks, quickly made him a favorite not only in the streets, but also on radio stations across the country. This dual appeal marked LL Cool J as one of the first hip-hop artists capable of bridging the gap between the underground scene and the mainstream, setting the stage for hip-hop's eventual dominance in popular music. What truly set LL Cool J apart was his versatility. While many of his contemporaries focused solely on aggressive, battle-oriented tracks, LL demonstrated a remarkable ability to diversify his sound. His 1987 single, I Need Love, was a bold departure from the norm, a hip-hop ballad that explored themes of vulnerability and romance. The track was a massive success, topping charts and expanding hip-hop's reach to a wider, more diverse audience. I Need Love not only showcased LL Cool J's lyrical dexterity, but also his willingness to take risks, pushing the boundaries of what hip-hop could be. The success of this track helped redefine the genre, proving that hip-hop artists could tackle a broad range of emotions and themes, and it solidified LL Cool J's status as a pioneer in the industry. However, LL Cool J's ability to cross over into the mainstream, coupled with his polished image and commercial success, sparked mixed reactions within the hip-hop community. While many admired his achievements and viewed him as a trailblazer, others, like Ice-T, were less enthused. To Ice-T, LL Cool J symbolized a shift towards a more sanitized, commercialized version of hip-hop, one that prioritized mass appeal over gritty, street-level authenticity. Ice-T, who prided himself on his unfiltered portrayal of life in the inner city, saw LL's smooth, marketable persona as a departure from the raw essence of hip-hop. This tension highlighted a broader debate within the genre about its direction and identity, with LL Cool J and Ice-T representing two different visions of what hip-hop could and should be. For Ice-T, LL Cool J's mainstream success was emblematic of a move away from the genre's roots, leading to a fundamental disconnect between the two artists that would define their relationship for years to come. Clash of styles and ideologies. The tension between Ice-T and LL Cool J was not just a matter of personal animosity, it was emblematic of a larger divide divide within the hip-hop community. Ice-T, with his gangsta rap roots, believed that hip-hop should be a reflection of the harsh realities of urban life. He saw himself as a chronicler of the streets, someone who spoke truth to power through his music. LL Cool J, on the other hand, was a versatile artist who was not afraid to explore different themes, including love and romance, in his music. This versatility made LL Cool J more palatable to the mainstream, but it also made him a target for criticism from those who believed he was diluting the genre. Ice-T's criticism of LL Cool J was not just about the music, it was about what each artist represented. Ice-T saw LL Cool J as someone who had compromised the integrity of hip-hop by chasing commercial success. In contrast, LL Cool J saw himself as an artist who was expanding the boundaries of what hip-hop could be. This fundamental difference in approach led to a rivalry that would simmer for years. The role of ego and competition in hip-hop. Hip-hop has always been a competitive genre, where respect among peers is earned through skill, authenticity, and street credibility. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, this competition was fierce, with artists often clashing over perceived slights or challenges to their status. For Ice-T, maintaining his credibility as a gangsta rapper was paramount, and he viewed LL Cool J's commercial success as a threat to the authenticity of the genre. LL Cool J, on the other hand, was confident in his own success and seemed largely unfazed by Ice-T's criticism. He continued to release hit after hit, appealing to both hardcore hip-hop fans and mainstream audiences. This confidence, however, may have only fueled Ice-T's disdain, as it represented everything that Ice-T felt was wrong with the direction hip-hop was taking. Notable incidents and diss tracks. The rivalry between Ice-T and LL Cool J, though not as explosive as some of the more notorious feuds in hip-hop history, was characterized by a simmering tension that occasionally bubbled to the surface. Unlike the headline-grabbing diss track wars of the era, the friction between these two hip-hop heavyweights was more subtle but no less significant. It was rooted in their differing philosophies about what hip-hop should represent and how it should evolve. Ice-T, known for his raw and gritty portrayals of street life, often used interviews as his platform to express disdain for LL Cool J's approach to the genre. His criticisms were not just casual remarks. They were pointed reflections of a deeper ideological clash about the direction of hip-hop as it moved into the mainstream. One of the most significant incidents that highlighted this tension occurred when Ice-T publicly criticized LL Cool J's track, I Need Love. During an interview, Ice-T dismissed the song as soft and argued that it did not embody the essence of hip-hop as he understood it. For Ice-T, hip-hop was a vehicle for raw, unfiltered expression, particularly about the harsh realities of street life. To him, a romantic ballad like I Need Love was a step too far into commercial territory, a betrayal of the genre's roots in the gritty, unvarnished experiences of urban life. Ice-T's critique was not just about the song itself. It was a broader commentary on what he perceived as LL Cool J's willingness to compromise the authenticity of hip-hop in pursuit of mainstream success. This incident was emblematic of the broader critiques Ice-T leveled at LL Cool J throughout their careers. Ice-T saw LL Cool J as an artist who, while undeniably talented, had chosen to prioritize commercial appeal over the raw authenticity that Ice-T believed was the cornerstone of true hip-hop. In various interviews, Ice-T would often contrast his own music, gritty, unfiltered, and grounded in the realities of street life, with what he viewed as LL Cool J's more polished, mainstream-friendly approach. This tension wasn't just a personal vendetta, it was reflective of a larger debate within the hip-hop community during that time. As the genre began to gain widespread popularity, artists like Ice-T worried that the increasing commercialization of hip-hop would dilute its original purpose and message. For LL Cool J, however, these criticisms were largely met with silence. Rather than engaging directly with Ice-T's barbs, LL Cool J chose to focus on his music and his career. He continued to release hits, expanding his influence and solidifying his status as one of hip-hop's biggest stars. LL's decision not to respond directly to Ice-T's critiques can be seen as a strategic move, allowing him to maintain his image as an artist who was above the fray of petty disputes. This approach also allowed LL Cool J to continue continue broadening his appeal without being bogged down by the criticisms of those who felt he had strayed too far from hip-hop's roots. By staying focused on his craft and avoiding direct confrontation, LL Cool J managed to navigate the tensions of the time while continuing to build a successful, long-lasting career in music. Impact on their careers. Despite their differences, both Ice-T and LL Cool J went on to have long and successful careers in their own right. Ice-T continued to push the boundaries of gangsta rap and later found success in acting, particularly with his role on the long-running TV series Law and Order, SVU. LL Cool J maintained his status as a hip-hop icon, balancing his music career with acting roles and eventually becoming a host of the Grammy Awards. The rivalry between Ice-T and LL Cool J, while significant at the time, ultimately became just one chapter in the broader history of hip-hop. Both artists contributed in their own way to the evolution of the genre, and their legacies are now seen as complementary rather than conflicting. Conclusion. The story of why Ice-T never respected LL Cool J is more than just a tale of two artists with different approaches to hip-hop. It is a reflection of the broader cultural and ideological divides that shaped the genre during its formative years. Ice-T's commitment to authenticity and the rawness of the streets stood in stark contrast to LL Cool J's versatile and commercially successful approach. While their rivalry may have simmered throughout their careers, both artists left an indelible mark on hip-hop, each contributing to the culture in ways that continue to resonate today.